So why is this rune and sigil change such a big meme? Like you have so many sigils and runes which got changed, right? Like holy fuck. Nearly everything got changed. And this is especially touching Chrono since boon duration got nerfed the hardest. Then when you log in the game, you're gonna have 80%, like around 80% to have 100 with the Chaos trade line because of the minor trade here. And that means that you will end at around 8.9k DPS, which is, well, 800 or 900 lower than what you had before. And you still end up doing exactly the same, but your rotation is easier, meaning you are not getting punished as hard. Also, you have way more toughness because you need more commander pieces on this power chrono setup. Note that this is not min-max gear. The numbers are probably wrong, but I just mixed something to give an example. But you still have other classes, right? It's not only chrono. Well, yeah. Power classes are still most using Scholar runes, so it's still the same rune as before. Condi classes are probably using only Nightmare runes now, not 4 Nightmare plus 2 Trapper, because rune splitting is just really bad now. But yeah, you mainly use Nightmare rune as the 4 rune before, so yeah, it's still kind of the same rune. Druid still uses Monk rune, because it's just super OP, and it was the same rune before. Then for the chrono runes, on Conny Chrono you just need Seraph gear now to get more boon duration, which lowers your DPS again, but doesn't change what you're doing, and you still play the leadership rune. On Power you just get more commander pieces, but you still play the leadership rune. On Tank Chrono you go Minstrel still, and you actually have a different rune. This is Sanctuary rune. Nice. And it's really nice, but it's tank chrono, which is not really optimal anyways, because it doesn't do the damage which a power chrono can offer, and you never need to be that tanky. On a power with chrono which isn't chaos, you need a lot of commander pieces to be able to cap your wound duration with still the leadership rune. So overall, you see this rune change, which affected so many runes. Like, look, these are all the runes which changed. It's insane. Only really affected Conny classes, even though they changed so many runes. So in the end, you're still gonna end up playing somewhat the same runes. If you go for sigils, sigils are a bit more interesting, but because there's quite a few sigil changes which are kind of good, like slaying sigils for non-raids, give you 3% permanent now. Same for Night Sigil, for example. Everything is 7+3, which is kind of nice, especially for Impact Sigil, since Impact Sigil was used on KC, and even when you don't break a boss, it's still a 3% permanent damage boost, which is pretty good. But that leaves us at the conclusion. It's still AI Sigil, which is good because it got buffed. Force Sigil is obviously good because it's 5% flat damage. Impact Sigil was good before, is still good. Concentration Sigil, yeah, it got nerfed hard, still good though. Water Sigil, it's mainly only for Druid, but it also got buffed, so it's obviously still good. Transference Sigil was good before, still good. Malice Sigil, still good. Earth got buffed, Geomancy got a bit nerfed. Oh my god, let's fix it, here you go. But they're still both good, and Bursting is good now because it got buffed. But those sigils, which are written here, are still the same sigils as before. So, yet again, changing so many sigils, we are still at an end result of the same sigils as before. Why am I making this video even in the first place? Because I don't like how Chrono is getting changed. I personally only play Chrono, or mainly I play other classes, but in raids or guild runs I only play Chrono kind of at this point. And Chrono is just getting easier and noob friendly with every single patch. The concentration sigil was OP. There's no discussion. 33% on a sigil is super broken. But if they wanted to nerf it, they should have left something like the weapon swap in it. Because without the weapon swap, as you can see in another video, in my rotation video, Chrono is just brain dead. You camp, sword, shield when you use all your skills to give boons, and then you go sword, sword with an air sigil to do damage, and then you go sword, shield again when your stuff comes off cooldown to give boons again. There is absolutely no skill. And even if you fuck up now, you're on sword, sword when you use your stuff. You only miss 10%, so you still have like 90% boon duration, which is still completely fine, because 90% is more than enough. So with a damage-oriented chrono build, with 90% boon duration, you can literally keep all the boons by just pressing your utilities off cooldown and using your F5 in a smart way. And I think a class should not be able to do that. I don't mind that Chrono can give all boons, or like the amount of boons it can provide, because after all, Chrono doesn't do damage. But you should be able to somewhat get a higher amount of damage when you play a good rotation and you can go more berserker gear. And that is just so hard with this patch, because you have get toughness again by playing a commander armor. Note that I have power infusions here because my concentration infusions are in the bank and I was too lazy to swap that in. But yeah, you just don't change much. You have a different rotation, do the same, do less damage. And for other classes, they kind of play the same sigils and runes as well. They changed a lot of runes. It's a nice patch because so much new stuff. But after all, nothing really changed. Apart from the damage you output, because runes kind of got nerfed and some runes got buffed. Yeah, and that's why I made this video.